.458 Okie here with the Deerhearse channel, and today I'm talking about one of my favorite single action revolvers, a Ruger Super Blackhawk in .44 Magnum. Now, for everybody who's concerned about safety, chambers are empty. Nothing to worry about. I know there's some safety Sallies out there. Reminds me of that Karen meme. But anyhow, it is empty. This gun is a favorite target shooting gun and a hunting handgun that I have on my side. If a deer comes within close enough range, I would not hesitate to use this. I actually had some custom work done on this gun by the late gunsmith John Gallagher of Jasper, Alabama, who unfortunately passed away April 20th of 2020. This was done several years ago by John, and he put 12-inch barrel on here, real nice sight radius on here for accurate longer range shooting. He put an oversized basepin. He did a trigger job, and a lot of that he did free of charge. The gun was in his shop for a while. He had some health problems that a lot of people were not necessarily aware of. But he did finish the gun, and it kind of is very sentimental to me because he did put some extra personal touches on here. The locking base pin is also an oversized base pin, which is excellent for keeping the cylinder bore in line with the forcing cone of the barrel. There's less play, and the tolerances are real nice in that regard. Now, unlike the Colt firearms, pin on the hammer, and it has 2 clicks rather than 4. You know how they say C-O-L-T, click, 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 click for Colt, the conventional Colt 1895. But anyhow, this does have the transfer bar safety, so you can actually have a loaded round underneath the hammer without fear of the gun accidentally discharging. Now, what I really like about this handgun, there's a lot of things, is the cylinder is long enough to where you can actually long load a 300 grain XTP bullet. And you load it to the second cantilever and crimp it there, which gives you a little extra case capacity because a bullet is seated out just a little bit further. And nicely enough, this is not too long for the Ruger Super Blackhawk cylinder, as you can see. Also is true of the Hornady FTX bullet. The Hornady reloading manual recommends that the brass be trimmed a little bit shorter to accommodate the longer ogive on the bullet because of the flex tip point. It's not flat nose or hollow point, it's got that extra little distance on there. But the nice thing about the Ruger Super Blackhawk is that you can actually load it to the full-length brass without it interfering in the rotation of the cylinder. It will not bind up or get stuck. But now in some other actions, like some revolvers with a shorter cylinder, this would not likely work, nor would the extended load with the 300 grain XTP bullet. Really, One of the nice things about owning a handgun like this is that with the powders available, the slower burning powders like your 296 or your H110, you can actually get a little more volume of powder in your case without increasing the pressures, but of course you have to do that carefully. And as always, I strongly recommend using a reputable reloading manual such as the aforementioned Hornady reloading manual. Layne Simpson actually printed an article about long loading the 300 grain XTP to the second cannelure. And he called it the 10.9 Ruger Magnum. That's just a way to say this is a longer loaded cartridge that may not work in other guns and is really recommended for the Ruger models. And there are some interarm models like the Dragoon where you can do the same and it works fine. I actually have a buddy I hunt with that long loads a 300 grain XTP as well, and he's had no problem with it whatsoever. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the 296 and the H110, which is the same powder, the W296 is just rebranded Winchester and by Hodgdon. And one thing to realize is you can't underload those powders too much because that creates a dangerous pressure situation, oddly enough. And the variance between minimum load and maximum load is critical. So be careful, look for pressure signs when loading. Once again, follow the recommendations of a good loading manual. One more thing I did back in 2013, 2014, around the time I sent this to John to have done with the barrel, and it's got an 11 degree forcing cone and 11 degree target muzzle. Another thing I did was order a Wolf spring kit and installed it myself, and that also greatly reduces the amount of trigger pull on this weapon, and it just breaks like a glass rod. Right here you can see where to find the Wolf spring kits for your particular gun. Not sure if they still make them for this model. Just wanted to qualify that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please consider subscribing to the Deerhearse 458 Okie YouTube page. And enjoy some of the additional photos I'm about to show. I also made a custom holster for this since the 7.5-inch barrel was removed and the 12-inch custom barrel was installed. The holster I had previously obviously would not work. You'd have this much barrel sticking out of the bottom of the holster. So I fabricated my own, and it was a joy to do, a labor of love. I enjoy working with leather. And I've got a little humorous segment at the end of this video as well about my love and enjoyment of working with leather. So stay tuned and see what that's all about. And in the meantime, please enjoy the rest of this video. And thank you for watching.
Whoa, they ain't never seen nothing like this before. Little